Okay, there we are. We're live. Yes. Okay, great. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Side Hustle Masterclass presented by Shine Club Wine and in partnership with Future Females. My name is Holly and I'm your host for today. We are just going to wait a couple of minutes just to make sure that everyone is logged on and joining us before we kick off. Hi everyone. So just a little tip from me, if you tap the chat function, I can see everyone has found it already, but that's where you can type your comments. Amazing. Hello everyone. Hi Lindy, hi Josephine, hi Kelly. So many people joining, fantastic. So I am going to wait until I think about 3 minutes past 12 before we start actually getting into the core of the masterclass. But for those who are only just joining, my name is Holly and I am your host for today. And we are super excited to be here and to be a part of this masterclass with you. You can see on your top right, there is a panel of visuals with our speakers here. We've got Phil, we've got Babelwa, and we've got Yolanda. Hi, everyone. I'm going to introduce the speakers properly in a few minutes. We are just going to wait for everyone to join us before we get going. Hi Fulu, hi Courtney, hi Naledi, so many people joining, fantastic. Okay. Just a little note, please do use the chat function. Use it to ask any questions you have for myself or any of our speakers today. We're here really to answer your questions and to give you as much advice as possible. We're going to get through to a live Q&A session at the end of the masterclass. And that is really our opportunity to answer all your questions. Any questions you have, whatever it might be about our speakers, about a side hustle idea you might have or want to start, just drop it in the chat box and we'll get to them. I'm just going to wait for 1 more minute. Phil, I'm just sending you a quick little WhatsApp. And we will start our masterclass in just a few minutes. For those that have just joined, my name is Holly and I am your host for today. Our speakers are here along the top panel. I'm going to be introducing them in a moment and we'll get going. Hi, Precious. We're looking forward to it too. Can everyone hear me perfectly? You can just do a thumbs up or put yes into the chat box. Hi, everyone. Hi, Tato. Hi, Sharon. Okay, perfect. Okay. Fantastic. We've got lots of people joining. Right, great. Yes, you can all hear me. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to get going. It's 4 minutes past 12 and we've got 1 hour session today. I'm aware it's a Friday and you're all taking time out of your schedules to join us. So we're super grateful for that. So hello, my name is Holly. I'm your host for today and welcome to the Side Hustle Masterclass presented by Shine Club Wine and in partnership with Future Females. So Shine Club Wine is it's a fantastic wine. It's a relatively new wine out there on the market There's red, rosé, and a white variety. It comes in this absolutely gorgeous handbag box design, and you can even use it as an accessory. I have before. And the hashtag for Shine Club Wine is Share the Shine. So as a brand, Shine Club is all about connecting women and bringing women together to shine. And by that, we mean sharing tips, empowering each other, being each other's best friend and cheerleader. And that's what brings us to this masterclass. Because this masterclass is how can we get all of you in a room and bring together some expert speakers to give you tips and advice about how to start a side hustle. Many of us have them, many of us have wanted to start them, but sometimes we just don't know how and where to start, and that's what we're here today to do. I see in Poe, you said you can't hear the sound. If you just click the audio on your laptop or your phone and turn up the sound, you should be able to hear us perfectly. Okay, so my name is Holly Meadows and I'm your host today. And I am the former editor-in-chief of Cosmopolitan magazine, and I now run a content agency. And one of our clients is Shine Club Wine. And I am going to be hosting you today for our 1-hour masterclass. So I just want to share with you before we get going my top 3 side hustle tips. So perhaps I go back and first share with you that I actually have my own side hustle. I started it during lockdown last year, and the side hustle that I have is a jewelry brand. It's a jewelry business. It's all made locally in Cape Town. And it's something that I do as an e-commerce business. I launched it on Shopify and, oh, hang on. And, can everyone hear me okay? Yes. And I launched my business on Shopify, and it's something that I do on the weekends and in my free time. And my top 3 tips are these. Number 1, before you even start a side hustle, you need to forecast a realistic revenue pipeline. And you need to ask yourself the question, can I actually make a profit? And the reason I say you need to do this is because I have friends that have started side hustles and they've lost money. And I think that one of the first questions you need to ask is there actually some profit margin to be made in this side hustle idea? And how much is it going to cost me to launch this side hustle idea? And I say that because we all don't want to lose any money. We want to take the least amount of risk. And we want to make sure that we're doing it not only because we love it and we're passionate about it, but also so that we can make a little bit of extra cash on the side. I think one of the things that many of us realized during COVID, a lot of us lost our jobs, and a lot of us were faced with, well, what am I going to do next? And one of the things I know that I personally realized is that I wanted to diversify my revenue streams and start a side hustle so that I had some income on the side. But the first question I asked myself was, well, how much income am I going to make, and how much is it going to cost me to start this side hustle idea? So that's my number 1 tip. And then my second tip is to understand your time versus profit ratio. And a big question here is, do you need to bring in a partner? So I say this because it might be that you have a full-time job. Maybe you've got a 9-to-5 job like I do, and you can only give a limited amount of time for your side hustle, i.e. nights and weekends, or early mornings. And so you really need to understand, well, once I've launched this, am I going to be able to continue with it myself, or do I maybe need to bring in a partner? Because the last thing you want to do is launch something and then you don't have any time to be able to commit to it to make it a success. So that is my second number 1 tip and question that you need to ask yourself before launching your side hustle. And then the third one is just to make a decision. I know when I started my side hustle, I was really overwhelmed with a million ideas. I wanted to start a dessert cafe. I wanted to start a jewelry brand. I wanted to start a content website. I had so many ideas and so many passions, and I was totally overwhelmed. And I just didn't know which one to pick. And at the end of the day, I just started. I just made a decision. I went with my gut, what I felt most passionate about, what felt most authentic to me, and I just did it. And I didn't think about it too much. I just went ahead and did it. And I did the basic research before. I made sure I had the time. I made sure I had a partner, and I made sure that I knew I could make a little bit of money from this. Otherwise, why was I doing it? Passion is great. We all need the passion. But at the end of the day, we need to make a living. So those are my 3 tips. And I hope they're helpful. We're going to be sharing with you this at the end of the masterclass. So do take notes, but also don't worry, you're going to get a link to this recording afterwards. You're all going to be emailed it. Okay, so we are here to talk about side hustles. And this masterclass is really presented as a side hustle starter kit. How to make extra coin from fellow female entrepreneurs who do. And I have a fantastic lineup of speakers and talks today. So the first 5 minutes, I'm going to be handing over to one of our speakers to talk about 5 profitable side hustle ideas that you can start today. Then we're going to move into talk number 1, and that is how to choose a side hustle you actually love that also makes you money. Okay, and that's a 10-minute talk. Then we're going to go into talk number 3, and that's another 10-minute talk, and that is going to be about how to translate your side hustle idea into an actionable work plan. Then we're going to move into a 5-minute talk about how to host a wine and shine networking event, because often the best ideas come when we get women in a room over a glass of Shine Club wine. So we've got another speaker telling you how to put your own networking event together. And then we've got 10 minutes at the end of the session to have an audience Q&A. So that is your opportunity to have all your questions answered. So I encourage you throughout the session, put your questions in the chat box, and we will get to them at the end of the session. Okay, so let's have a look at our speaker lineup. I've introduced myself. I'm Holly. I'm your host today. And we've got Philippa Dodds. And Philippa, just give a wave so everyone knows who you are. Philippa is the director of the Future Females Foundation. This masterclass is in partnership with Future Females. Future Females is a really awesome business network. It's a global business network that's really active here in South Africa. And they have all sorts of program and training available for women who want to start businesses. So they're really geared towards the entrepreneur female community in South Africa. And then we've got Babalwa and Luana. Babalwa, just wave. Hi, Babalwa. Babalwa is a content creator. She's an influencer. And she is also the founder of her side hustle, BNN Loungewear. It's a really gorgeous loungewear brand. Go check it out on Instagram if you haven't already. And then we've got Yolanda Jawe. Hi, Yolanda. Please give us a wave. Hello. And then Yolanda is the founder of Yo's channel, which, if you haven't already come across it, is a YouTube channel. She's the most incredible content creator, and her side hustle is Yo's Beauty. So you can also find that on Instagram. And Yo's Beauty primarily do sheet masks. And sheet masks are those incredible hydrating masks that you put on in the evening when you're just relaxing from work or you're having a slumber party with your girls. Yeah, they're just amazing for hydration and all sorts of skin concerns. So Yolanda is going to be taking us through her journey, launching Yo's Beauty and Yo's channel a bit later on today. And then we've got Cleopatra Markopoulos, and she's going to join us at the end of this session. And Cleopatra is the co-founder of Style Rotate, which is a fashion dress rental platform, and the co-founder of the Cora Project, which is an NGO that aims to eradicate period poverty in South Africa. So she's going to be sharing with you her journey. I see some of you are having struggle hearing. That is because of your connection, so please move yourself into an area where you've got good connection and you can hear us. Okay, make sure your Wi-Fi is really nice and stable. Okay, I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to hand over to Phil, and Phil is going to take over from here on and give us her tips. And Phil, take it away.
Thank you so much, Holly, and hi everyone. It's great to be here. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Can you hear me all right? Okay, perfect. So, jumping straight into it. First of all, thank you for having me here. Thanks everyone for joining. I'm so pleased to be at this Side Hustle Masterclass, speaking along with Shine Club and Future Females about a topic that I'm very excited about, along with this panel of speakers that are absolute powerhouses. My name is Philippa Dodds. Just to give you a little bit of an introduction, my full-time day job is head of marketing at Meltwater for the African region of Meltwater. So I oversee the marketing initiatives and campaigns across all 54 African countries. Meltwater is a global media intelligence company, and our software helps clients to track their brand reputation, manage social media campaigns, and understand industry trends. My side hustle is Future Females. Future Females is a community of women working to increase the number and the success of female entrepreneurs. Our online products and business accelerators help female entrepreneurs build profitable, scalable businesses. We were launched in August 2017, and today we have over 100,000 members across 55 cities around the world. Last year, during lockdown, I launched Future Females Foundation. This is the NPO arm of the business that is focused specifically on eradicating gender-based violence and empowering survivors. So we run a number of projects that are focused on educating young men as well as supporting female survivors of GBV. I am also a member of the Global Shapers community, which is an initiative of the World Economic Forum, or WEF. Global Shapers is a network of youth driving action, dialogue, and change in their communities. And recently, I launched my personal website, philippadodds.com, where I have begun to monetize my public speaking gigs and marketing strategy consultation. So you can say that I have a fair share of experience in juggling several side hustles. Today, I'm going to take you through a couple of ideas that I have for you that you can start today. These can be done on the side of your full-time job if you're looking to make a little bit more cash on the side, or you can take a deep dive into either of them and make it your full-time gig. All of them have low barriers to entry, so you don't need a lot of time, money, experience, or knowledge to start, which sounds pretty good to me. So let's get into it. The first one is affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing is a deal that a brand makes with a business or individual to sell their products or services on their behalf. The business or individual then makes a cut of the price that they've sold it for. So you can think of it as commission-based marketing too. Although it doesn't take a lot of resources to start affiliate marketing, it does help if you have some influence already and a communication channel with the community, even if it is small or niche. So for example, if you are a fashion blogger and have a weekly email newsletter that you send to a group of subscribers. Affiliate marketing is great because it's a win-win. So the brand wins because they end up selling more of their product to more groups and communities. And we as the influencer win because we get paid a percentage of every one of those products that we sell. So it's easy to pitch to brands too. As most of you know, the name of the game in 2021 and going into 2022 is authenticity. So my big tip here is to make sure that you're only affiliating your personal brand with products that you really do know, love, trust, and use yourself. Perfect. My next tip is starting a Yaga store. So I am almost certain that there are at least 1 to 2 items of clothing in your wardrobe that you have worn once and probably never will again. Yaga is the marketplace for pre-loved fashion, or the way to monetize the clothing that otherwise will sit and collect dust in the back of your cupboard. The platform is easy to use, payments are secure, orders can be easily managed, and the network of shoppers is massive. There are thousands of buyers willing to purchase what you don't wear anymore, if it's still in good shape, of course. The bonus is that Yaga contributes to the sustainable fashion industry. So fast fashion, as we know, is so last decade, and we are all about improving our fashion footprint. Plus, if you're looking for something new, why not jump onto Yaga before heading to the shops? Chances are you'll find a pre-loved item of what you're looking for at a much better rate. Number 3, freelance your skills on Upwork or Fiverr. So now this is a great one if you have a skill like design or reading or writing, but everyone is good at something, and freelancing your skills is the perfect way to make some extra money from it. On platforms like Upwork or Fiverr, you can check both out. You can sell your skill, whether it is creating a logo for a new startup, or proofreading essays, or content writing a blog post. You can also manage social media accounts and do voiceovers, which is cool. You basically get paid for speaking. So there are so many things that brands and people are looking for that you can always find something on these sites that you can do. You also get to choose your hours, how long or short you want to spend on each project, and your wage, what you want to be paid for it. This is also the one tip on my list that is probably, I think, most likely to turn into a career. There are so many people moving into the freelance industry all over the world because of these perks, like choosing your hours and pay, work flexibility, and working for yourself, being your own damn boss. So the more you do it, the better you'll get at it, and the more clients you'll meet and be able to serve. So my tip here is to get freelancing. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to drop them into the chat. Make sure to use the chat box if you can, and we will address some of the questions after the session. So my number 4 is to sell your photos or illustrations on sites like Shutterstock or Dreamstime. So for this one, the only thing you actually need is a good quality camera, which a lot of us already have on our mobile phones today. It can be as simple as taking a pic of a beautiful sunset or a cute puppy, which I know we all love doing already, and then selling these pics to Shutterstock. If you have an eye for detail or a creative side, you'll do well here, but really it's something that we can all leverage. And number 5, last but not least, is to make the investment and start a profitable, scalable business with Future Females. Entrepreneurship, side hustling, and freelancing can be hard and stressful, as with anything in life. And Future Females is a community that is made up of like-minded women who are hustlers and go-getters like you and I, and are also some of the most supportive and empowering and inspiring people around. We host monthly events, sometimes in person and sometimes on Zoom, depending on lockdown restrictions, in some of the major South African cities. So Cape Town, Stellenbosch, Joburg, Durban, Pretoria, and PE. These events are free to attend and feature inspiring keynote speakers. There's loads of amazing networking opportunities and sometimes a glass of bubbles or a G&T. What we do as a business, though, is to actually help you with the practical steps that it takes to become a successful business owner. The Future Females Business School is a virtual business accelerator, taking you from idea to business in just 3 months. This is perfect for the side hustler who wants to make her dream business a reality. Here we cover all the basics you need to know about becoming an entrepreneur, like sales tactics, marketing funnels, accounting and tax, and much more. And then we have the Future Females Founders Club, which is a membership portal for in-business entrepreneurs who want to upskill themselves, stay ahead of trends, expand or scale their business, and gain education and insights through webinars, courses, and networking. So no matter what stage of the business you're at, whether you have 1 or 5 side hustles, you're going solo or have a co-founder, Future Females is definitely the community for you. I just want to end on the note of please get in touch with me if you want to know anything more. I'm really passionate about entrepreneurship and women empowerment, so I would love to help in any way or just chat. All of my contact details and social media pages are on my website, philippadodds.com. Thanks everyone for joining. Looking forward to the next speakers, and back over to you, Holly.
Hi everyone. Okay, Babalwa, please put on your video and your audio, and I'm gonna let you take over and talk about your topic.
Okay. A very good afternoon to everyone. Before I start, I would like to really just extend words of thank you to Future Females and Shine for allowing me this opportunity to speak to all the ladies this afternoon. It really is such an honor to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. It really is amazing to see women coming together and wanting to see one another succeed. It is really such an honor to be here this afternoon. By a way of introduction, my name is Babalwa Ndlwana. I was born in a small city, the windy city called Port Elizabeth. I relocated to Cape Town with my parents. In 2008, I went to high school there. And then I decided that I actually want to move to Cape Town because Langebaan is really so boring. I cannot stay there. It's more of a holiday destination rather than an actual place that you can live and have a day-to-day as a teenager. So I told my parents that, guys, please let me move to Cape Town. First of all, I can't live here because it's boring. I just want to move to Cape Town. There's so much that I want to do. I want to be on TV and. So they said, fine, if you can find yourself a school and find yourself accommodation, we'll let you move. Found myself a school, found myself accommodation, and within 3 months of me being in Cape Town, I managed to score myself a TV role, which was a TV show that played on SABC3 called Witchway. Fast forward to 3 months later, I landed myself another role, which was a show that played on SABC2. So to fast forward my journey, I got to matric and I was still doing TV and high school. My father then asked, do you really want to pursue this TV thing? Are you wanting to go into the TV industry? He basically just persuaded me and said that I really believe that you need to have a qualification, find something that you love, study so that you can have something to fall back on. If you really love TV, you can pursue it, but you need to study and have a qualification to fall back on. Fine. I then went on did my research, and I was like, what school can I go to? And then I was like, I really love marketing and advertising. I spoke to a few people and they recommended an institution called the AAA School of Advertising. I then went and I did a BA in Integrated Marketing Communications, graduated, and I started working into the advertising space. To fast forward my whole career, started working in the advertising space. But while I was working, I really knew that advertising was amazing, but I really knew that I love being in front of the camera. I love working with people. And I knew that my purpose was just to be in business and to be in front of the camera. But I really just didn't know how everything was going to unfold. To fast forward my life, I started a YouTube channel with my husband during lockdown. One day I was working in the advertising space, went to work, came back, and then we're just like, we need to start a YouTube channel. So we sat down in front of the camera, recorded 4 videos in one go, and then we literally did not know what we were doing, but all we knew is that we want to do this. Well, I wanted to do it and he was just supporting me. And we literally just learned how to edit YouTube videos on YouTube, like through YouTube. To fast forward that, my journey on YouTube grew. My followers on Instagram grew tremendously. In just 1 year, our YouTube followers, we got over 50,000 followers on YouTube, and I got over 100,000 followers on Instagram. And brands really started approaching me, and that is where I started my content creation business. And then time went by. That's the one business that I have. Time went by. We were in the middle of lockdown. I was still working in the advertising space, so I was balancing the two, balancing my side hustle, working in the advertising space, as well as content creation. And then I was like, I really want to start another business, because I knew that my whole career is like, I'm not a 9 to 5 person. I knew that I really want to be my own boss one day. So, which is when I started my baby, which is called B&M Loungewear. This business started in the middle of lockdown, where I was caught up in between meetings. And most of the time, as like everyone else, we were working from home. And I was like, I really don't know what to wear. Like, we were in meetings and you were like wearing jeans and you were very uncomfortable. So I was like, I really want to start a lingerie business. And as a young girl, I've always been so passionate about clothes. So starting a business in lingerie was really a no-brainer. So I then started my baby, which is called B&M Loungewear. So today I'm really just going to touch on a few nuggets to those of you that are working and that really just want a few tips on how to start a side hustle, which really correlates to who you are as an individual and as a person. The first nugget that I really would love to touch on today is how to find your entrepreneurial superpower. So your business should be a purpose-driven business. It should be something that you are incredibly passionate about. It should never be profit-driven first, but more about your purpose. When it is purpose-driven, the profit will follow. So I know that it's very, very difficult, because sometimes you get so many ideas, business ideas. You're like, yeah, I want to start this, I want to start that. But the key thing in starting a successful business, it is to base it on a purpose-driven business. We all have something inside of us that we were created to do. It is our gifts. It is what we're passionate about. If you start your business on passion and purpose, then the profit will follow, because you will do something without being told that you need to do it. You will do it to the best of your ability. You'll do it exceedingly, like more than you can ever imagine. You'll put your all and just like give it everything that you have got. So finding the key nugget into finding your entrepreneurial superpower, it is to starting a business that you are passionate about. If you're passionate about hair, then start a hair business. If you are passionate about makeup, then start a makeup business. If you are passionate about skincare, then start a skincare business. And through that is where all your revenue and everything will follow, because it is something that is you were meant to do. It's something that you were born to do. Moving on to my next point. The second nugget that I want to touch on is that you need to ensure that your business is aligned with your gifts and your strengths. It pretty much ties into the first point that I made. It's very important to align your gifts with your business. Your business will definitely flourish once it is aligned with your purpose as a person. And it is so key to build a business that is based on your own uniqueness. Each and every single one of us were created to flourish and be unique in a certain aspect, in a certain field. For example, your particular DNA is not matched like to anyone else. That's why you've got your own unique fingerprint. The same thing and this is the same principle that is very important to tie into your business. You are meant to do something that is uniquely amazing, an idea that nobody else has done. And I know it can get very tricky in the social media space that we're in. You see trends, and then you see a lot of people doing this, and then you think, oh, amazing, let me copy that. I also want to do that. But that's where a lot of people make mistakes, because they follow trends, and then they see, oh, everyone is being a content creator. Now I must also go and do this particular thing. But each and every single one of us have got unique characteristics that make us like unique and different from anyone else. Moving on to my next nugget. It is very, 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 very important as a business owner to acknowledge that you have strengths, which are the things that you will master in your business, and you have got weaknesses, which are the things that you won't necessarily master in your business. And this is where you really, really, really need to be smart. It is to be able to acknowledge your weaknesses and hire a team or individuals, or even if it's one individual, because starting a business requires money. So if it happens that you don't have a lot of capital in the beginning, it's very, very important when you're starting your business to do a SWOT analysis. So being able to acknowledge that there are certain things that you are not necessarily strong at, and being smart and hiring someone that is going to be able to do the things that you are not strong at. For example, with me, I'm a creative brain. I flourish when I come up with ideas. When it comes to brainstorming, I'm so great. Like, I can give it my all and it will be amazing. The fireworks, butterflies, and everything will flourish. However, when it comes to the day-to-day admin, such as making sure that my orders are met on time, making sure that the administration of the business works, I am really not good at that. And there's absolutely nothing wrong. However, I need to ensure that I hire a person that is going to be able to assist me in my weaknesses, a person that I know that is going to be able to make sure that the day-to-day administration of the business is done. The paperwork, my invoicing, for example, as a content creator, if month end comes and I've done all my content, a person that's going to be doing all those invoices to clients. So it's very, very important to be able to analyze your strengths and your weaknesses as a business in order for you to be able to flourish. Moving on to my next nugget, which is my fourth nugget. This is very, 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 very important. It's super, super key as a business owner to be able to focus on your niche. One thing that you really, really, really need to understand in order for you to succeed in business is that you cannot be all things to all people. You can't. Like, it's impossible. You're going to have people that are for your business and you're going to have people that are not for your business. And that is 100% okay. What you need to focus on is to master your niche and to master your speciality, so that when people think of loungewear, they think about B&M, because I have mastered my niche. So as a business owner, you need to understand that you can't dabble in everything. You can't be a jack of all trades. You need to establish your key things. You need to focus on your niche and master them, so that whenever people think of a content creator in family, luxury, lifestyle, they think, oh yes, Babalwa. Whenever they think of loungewear, they think, oh yes, B&M loungewear. So it's very, 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 very important for you to base your business in the fundamental essence of mastering and focusing on your niche. Moving on to my last point. I know that there are a lot of women out there that are stuck in 9-to-5s, and starting is quite scary. Leaving your job is very, very, very scary. And sometimes you really just doubt yourself. You ask yourself, am I going to be able to do this? What's going to happen? What if it fails? What if people don't support me? And my last nugget is to just start. Just go for it. You'll never know something until you actually do it. And if you fail, so what? If you fail 5 times, you will learn 5 times of not being able to do that particular thing. Like, you will learn 5 times of how it doesn't work. So if you are a woman out there that is in your 9-to-5, and you're wondering if you should start a side hustle, just go for it. The fears will be there, self-doubt will be there, not being sure will be there. Just go for it and just start. You'll never know until you just start. The sky is the limit, and the world is waiting for you and your magic. So yeah, thank you so much everyone for tuning in. If you have any questions, I am looking forward to answering those questions. Over to you, y'alls.
Awesome. Hello, honeys, as per usual. For those of you who know my story, I'm going to try and be very, very fast. Essentially, I studied finance and investments. Fun fact, I actually started with chartered accountancy, and in my second year, I decided to have that dreaded talk with my mom. I said to her, well, this is not going to work. I'm going to have to quit accounting, but I'm not fully quitting. I'm going to do what I want to do, which is finance and investments. And I say this because Boal has actually mentioned the core thing. Passion is so important. We cannot do and thrive in something that we are not feeling. If you're not feeling it, how are you going to thrive? So I think that for me was probably the core pinnacle peak of my life, where I realized if you're not driving your life to where you want to be, well, what's going to happen? You're just going to end up living, and hopefully one day you'll change your mind, but you never want to get there where you actually regret the things you didn't do purely because you were scared, or you procrastinated, or you simply just didn't feel like it. So I want to delve in while telling my story so that we stick to the time as well. First of all, identify and leverage your core interests and passions. Very clearly, Babala has also mentioned what you do in terms of business is very much aligned to who you are and the things that you are passionate about. And it's so much easier to give it your all. In fact, it's easier for me to wake up when I know that yours beauty is yours, babe. If you're not pushing it, who's going to? Because no one, in fact, it's called y'all's beauty. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? And once you find what that is, most of the time it's when you feel like you're in your element. I've got a lot of questions around, well, how do I know that I'm passionate about that one thing? What is that one thing when you do it, you literally feel like I'm a fish in water. Like literally, I am in my element. What is that one thing? And then you ask yourself, well, is it linked to my natural talents? Do I feel good even after doing that? Some people, that's giving. For me, it's talking. I feel good right now. I love people. I love media. And a lot of you guys know this because that's part of why I started my channel. I was at Nedbank and really feeling frustrated, working at the bank and feeling like I was boxed. I felt as though I couldn't spread my wings. I couldn't fly. In fact, I would say to my mom, I feel caged again. And she was like, you're not quitting. You are not quitting. You've already, switched your degree 3-4 years ago before graduation, and you've quit before. I know this, y'all. You're very spontaneous. And I was like, there's always a plan behind it. I don't feel like I'm in my element. And if I don't feel like I'm in my element, the chances are I'm not going to flourish. So a lot of us find ourselves in these corporate 9-to-5s. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But at times we don't even flourish there because we're frustrated outside of that. So where do I channel that energy? That's when I picked up the camera and I literally said, I'm starting this channel because I want to get into the front seat of my life. I needed somewhere to channel my energy and to give and to speak to people, because in the role that I was in, even though it was a sales role, I wasn't client facing. I wasn't doing what I was loving. However, can I tell you this? I got to flourish in my role at the bank because suddenly I had the balance between what I was passionate about and then translating that confidently in the office. On Saturdays, I'm filming. On Monday, I am thriving in the office. On Monday, I'm speaking up in the boardroom because now I'm practicing. Every Saturday, I'm speaking to the camera. It's easy for me to lift up my hand. So I'm not saying quit your 9-to-5 just yet. I'm saying while you are there building your side hustle, find that one thing, channel that energy, and you'll find that it will translate even in the workplace that you find yourself in. And then once you find that thing, find out how you can monetize it. I obviously started with my Y'all's channel business before knowing that it could be a business, before monetizing it. In fact, when we started, we didn't even know much of how we can make this a full-time living, which we obviously have now, 5 years later. Actually, 2017 is when I started earning money, and it hasn't stopped on YouTube. Then last year we got in lockdown. I was a bit frustrated and I decided I think I should start something else. I want to do something. I can't just be posting videos. I don't feel fulfilled anymore. And I don't know if it's just a phase in my life or I just get into that cycle where if it's redundant and it's the same thing, like they say, there's no growth in comfort zones. I want to get out of it. I need a springboard. I need to jump into something new. So I started researching around sheet masks because I walked into Discam and I wasn't seeing my face through the sheet mask that I was using. A lot more people were having more pamper sessions at home. We were obviously stuck at home. So what were we doing? But every brand that I was using did not represent me, a strong Black woman who actually prioritizes self-care. So like most of you know, I am a firm believer in being the change that you want to see. I started my own sheet mask brand. I researched like I was crazy. I told my husband, I'm starting this brand. And he said, like, there's an unknown, the rest of the year is unpredictable. What are you going to do? I said, I'm putting all my money into this business. And guess what? I researched and researched, found people who had their own businesses, studied them, studied the people we follow. One big thing is we are busy on our phones, constantly scrolling. What are you learning from there? What are you leveraging from the people? The things that we are consuming, make sure it's actually food that feeds us. Act as, that research case study. For instance, Carol's daughter, how she began. Read on that and don't stop learning. And that's really how I started my company. I just learned about it. A few months later, boom, we decided to tease the market. To be quite honest with you, I actually worked on the behind the scenes before everyone saw everything else. So I found my supply chain, my suppliers, decided on, what my source of revenue would be, my target market pricing and all of that. But in the back end of all of that, I was teasing people of something that was coming. I wanted people to know that something is brewing without actually letting them know that it's sheet masks. So we actually started building up hype. I literally got a small team. The first person I hired was a woman entrepreneur herself who had her own side hustles, and she was living right upstairs my older apartment. And I was like, girl, let's do this thing. We started our social media page and we actually decided on a launch date. We planned on Planoly, our feed, and how we'll become a credible source of information when it comes to skincare before people know what we are actually offering. This made us stand out because all of a sudden we're a skincare brand that doesn't have skincare products. Nobody knows what we're launching, but we're offering them value. Value is so important. Again, I could reiterate everything that Babalo was saying, but she really spoke about also standing out and being identified, staying top of mind. You can do that without the actual physical product, So that's literally how you also our page growing to 8,500 followers without the actual product there. And then we let the world know. At 8,500 followers, we decided to actually say, guys, we are launching our sheet masks. We also created a database online of 4,500 people from our website, literally built our website, got people to sign up before they knew what exactly that was about. And we got to leverage on that because essentially those are our assets. Should Instagram shut down, I have a database of emails that I can still lean on. And we've created a page that doesn't have just product, but information, educational information that makes us stand and become relevant in the skincare market, and also credibility. Credibility creates, obviously, longevity in the market. And then, of course, the one big thing that's going to keep you going is consistency. Keep on keeping on, even if there's no stock, even if there's bad business days. Keep your audience awake. So we've got something called Squad Friday, where every Friday on Y'all's Beauty, we actually chat to you guys. We ask you questions. We really bring women together. And that's really also very important, especially in a South Africa, that sometimes we think, oh, there's always competition amongst women. Actually, no, there's a community of women who love each other, a community of women who want to bring and lift others up, literally share the shine, as Shine Clive would say. So that's the consistency. Whether there's product or not, Y'all's Beauty is on your mind. Y'all's Beauty should be at the tip of your tongue. So consistency also builds resilience. It helps you go through the tough times. We are a startup that started in 2020 during a pandemic. On the 31st of July, we decided to launch. And we actually made our first 100,000 Rand within the first 10 days of launch, purely because of everything else that I've mentioned. We've also built trust in the market. We've got a lot more repeat customers. I believe it's over 55% repeat customers that we have. And that is incredible for a new Shopify online store. Want to keep you thinking about those things. Find your passion, leverage on that, and obviously research, never stop learning. And once you do know those things, get the logistics done, but let people know while you're busy in the behind the scenes. And of course, don't forget the biggest word. Consistency is key. That's what will sharpen you and strengthen your business. It's not only that it builds trust, like I mentioned, but it really keeps you, oh, my alarm just went off. You see, I'm going over time now. It keeps you top of mind. And obviously, it helps you improve your efficiency. It helps us improve our customer service, how we deal with people. And of course, the most important thing in a 2020 and a 2021 that's still unpredictable, it makes you sustainable. It keeps you sustainable. It sustains our business, but also it helps us remain, in the long term, hopefully a bigger and better brand. That is it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you've got any other questions, please ask them in the chat and I'll be happy to answer them.
Hello, everyone. I am going to go ahead. So hi, lovely ladies. I am Cleo, and I'm very excited to be chatting to everyone today. By introduction, I am a self-proclaimed side hustler addict, essentially. I have a few various businesses and brands, or babies, as Babelwa likes to call them. I can't help it. I just kind of find myself with new kind of side hustles. I'm a content, fashion, media, and essentially networking lover. And because of my multifaceted passions and interests, it makes sense that I have accumulated a whole bunch and a whole array of side hustles over the years. So let me go next. I hope everyone can hear me, and please do ask questions, which we'll answer afterwards. So to introduce myself, I also have a few brands. The one is Style Rotate. It's South Africa's now largest rental platform. And we essentially rent out outfits to women who are going to an event or they have a special birthday or occasion. And we partner with lots of local and international designers and brands. I also am co-founder of Cora. The Cora Project is a non-profit organization that essentially our main goal and focus is to combat period poverty in South Africa and to educate people on menstrual health and to make it a less taboo subject, essentially. And most recently, through exercise, I co-founded a run club, and it's grown literally in the last few months. We have teams in Joburg, Durban, and in Cape Town. So those are three of my side hustles. I also love hosting networking events, which makes sense because I'm going to be chatting to you about how to host your own, and essentially bringing like-minded females together. I really just love and adore bringing women together under the same roof, and I've hosted various networking events for all my brands actually over the years. And I find them such a great success. I see the value in them. Let me go to the next slide. And I really recommend, trying your own. So to essentially give you the perks, or for you to understand the perks of hosting your own networking event, they really just kind of take the business aspect and highlight that human element that we don't always get to enjoy. They also really put the spotlight on people and give people and their skills a chance to shine. And not only this, but there are really, really effective ways to forge new partnerships, to foster collaboration, and to get ideas flowing. I always say, one person in a room, you may have ideas, but add a second, a third, a fourth, and collaboration flows. There's just this incredible energy that comes to light. So I'm all about hosting network events, and essentially a networking event is a chance for collaboration.
And collaboration, if I had to answer, like, what is the number one advice tip I could give you, starting your side hustle, or really anything in business and in life, collaboration has been very much the kind of common thread throughout all my businesses. Networking events are essentially the perfect platform to create this like collaborative approach to any business or brand. Let me go to the next slide. Okay, so let's dive in. Okay, so firstly, how do you cater for a networking event, especially when you don't have like overflowing funds, you're starting your own business, you want to keep costs to a minimum. So how do you budget and create the space? So firstly, where to host your event. So I recently had an event for Style Rotate. So I'm going to use that as an example. We had our first birthday event, which essentially became a bit of a networking event and a mini party. So when I was thinking, how do we get food? Where should we host it? We ended up hosting it at our offices and leaning on a friend who owns a pizza restaurant to supply pizzas. So when you are looking for, catering, pull in your network, collaborate with a friend who owns a, food business, maybe they own a cafe or a restaurant, because this very, very well could be the venue that you host your networking event, and a great way to provide the food. But what you should do is form some kind of trade exchange where you aren't necessarily, putting down the money to get the food. You are offering a skill in exchange for another skill or a service. So, for example, chat to your friend who has a side hustle herself and makes cakes and sells them, for example, and say, listen, I want to host a small networking event. 30 people are attending. Can you provide 30 cupcakes and maybe a small cake? I'm going to ensure that all the guests tag you on social media. You can say, guys, this is my friend. She's, a female business. She owns this incredible bakery or cafe. Please tag her. She has provided some incredible goodies for the evening. And also, it's a great way to get that word of mouth marketing at your event. So that's also a perk for the person providing the goods. You could also maybe take some content on your iPhone, even if there's a photographer attending, ask them to snap some pics. So it's very much pulling in your network and leaning on them. I'm sure you can all list at least one person, who's a good cook, owns a cafe, or has a pizza restaurant. So I brought in I Love the Dough Pizza. I said to my friend, we'll tag you on social, and we'll put your logo on our invite. Then beverage-wise, it's almost as if Shine Club was literally created for this instance of networking and eventing, because you can literally serve wine on tap very affordably at an affordable price, and in the form of your beautiful diamond handbag-shaped boxed wine that, every female would love to have some of. They also have rosé, red, and white wine, so you can cater for everyone's needs. And because they come in, I think, 3-liter boxes, you can get one of each flavor, and you should have enough wine for, a networking event of 30 people. So, beverage-wise, super easy. Lean into your Shine Club wine, and wine's also just such a great way to get the conversation flowing. When people are in a room together and not everyone knows each other, they might feel a bit shy to speak out or to, approach someone and introduce themselves. But as soon as you have wine around, people, you know how it is. You have a glass, you become more chatty. Your ideas maybe start, getting finding the shape of their own. So wine is a great way to, or Shine Club wine's a great way to kind of, have beverages at a networking event. Okay, and then who to invite. So firstly, you can keep your networking event small or big. It's totally up to you, but you need to ensure that it's big enough to ensure collaboration, and that there are a diverse group of women who all are meeting each other and they all have something different to bring to the table. but big enough, but small enough so that people can actually talk to each other and, get that collaborative process going. So I would recommend 8 to 20 guests. And then when it comes to forming the guest list, who to invite, I would say, firstly, go to maybe 3 friends and ask them to invite another 3 friends who have different interests. So ensure that you are highlighting the need for different women to join. You could also invite people on social media. I've done this before. So people who inspire me on social media, I've literally sent them a DM and said, I'm hosting this event. There will be pizza and wine. Would you like to attend? It's a networking event, so you might meet some amazing women and form partnerships with them. So it's a really great way to kind of connect with other women who inspire you in your community, but also on social media. And, you have to be a bit ballsy if you're approaching people you don't know. But if there's another tip I can give you with side hustles and business and life, it's being ballsy really fosters great things. So yeah, don't be afraid to invite those you don't know. Especially those who have small local startups, because they can give some valuable advice to those who are wanting to start their own side hustle. And then I always say, co-host or co-partner is always a great idea. So in every business that I own and run, I have an incredible business partner on. And I really see the value in having that kind of partner and tag team member to kind of bounce ideas off, but they can also, it's like you can split the work, and everyone, there, as Babs said, lean on people who have a different skill set to you. So maybe go to a friend who, has a completely different business to you and say, would you like to co-host this networking event? And she'll have a different kind of network and she can pull those people in. And also then you're dividing the tasks. It doesn't seem as daunting when you have a co-host. So that's also something I really recommend. Okay, and then when it comes to inviting your guests, we all, it's all about the Evite these days. No one posts a physical invitation. And a great way to create your Evite is through Canva. Canva is a free graphic design platform, and it's really incredible, so easy to use. I use it myself. It comes with like a multitude of templates. So you can literally type in pink, feminine, invite, and it will show you, invites that are to that effect. So you can customize it based on what kind of networking event you're hosting, and then obviously include all the important information on the invite, venue, time, and also include, any partners that you're partnering with. So any logos of, the catering friend who's providing the goods, or, your Shine Club wine, if you'd like everyone to tag certain brands. So yeah, Canva is a really, really great way to do this. Okay, so now that you've got your food, you've got your venue, your invite, your guest list, when it comes to the actual night, how do you kind of work the room? How do you structure it? So I always say that a great kind of structure is firstly to get up, to introduce yourself. Hi, I'm Kira. I just wanted to host this evening tonight because I really love bringing like-minded people together. Please feel free to go up to people, introduce yourself, enjoy our wine, enjoy our snacks. And then also a great way to kind of break that ice, or, kind of everyone's in the beginning might be a little bit reluctant to go up to people. So a great way to do that is to think of a fun icebreaker activity that can break the silence and get everyone to know each other. So I would say an example would be to say, guys, we're going to go around the room. Everyone's going to answer the one TV show they are currently obsessed with. If they prefer red, white, or rosé Shine Club wine, and maybe a 2-line elevator pitch on what they do or what they want to do, and where they are in their kind of side hustle process. And then that's kind of a great way to get people chatting. And as soon as people start chatting and wine starts flowing, people will naturally start, introducing themselves, and the collaboration process will happen, which is so great to see. So those are my tips for hosting a networking event. I also just want to say that, you might enjoy hosting your first networking event so much that you want to host another and another. And in the end, you may have, you may create a brand through these networking events, bringing women together. And it will also kind of create and solidify you as a thought leader in your community. So there's just so many great things that can come out of a networking event. And I hope you've learned something from my pointers. And please feel free to ask all your questions before we finish the webinar. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Cleo. I am going to ask all of the presenters to put their audio on and their visual on, so you can all come back and share the screen with me. And Philippa, I'm going to be inviting you back into the room as a presenter. And then what we're going to do is we're going to start answering your questions. So if you have a question for any of our speakers, this is your opportunity. We have actually gone over time, but I think we can all afford 10 minutes to answer your questions. So you may have a question for Babalwa, you may have a question for Yolanda, you may have a question for Cleo, and you may have a question for Philippa. This is your chance to get those questions answered. You might be thinking about a side hustle. You may have already started one. We can give you some advice and tips here. Okay, just bear with me while I get Philippa back into the room, and we will start answering your questions. Okay, so I'm going to go to the Q&A now. We've got a question here for Babalwa and for Yolanda. I would love to be a content creator, but I need to know which apps do Bubbles and Yols use for their editing and recording. Thank you in advance.
Yols, I think you can go first since you're the expert.
Not really. So I use both iMovie and Final Cut Pro. Yeah, what do you use, Bubs?
I use iMovie actually. I only use iMovie. So I need to actually get my hands on Final Cut because I've been hearing that it's really amazing. So yeah.
It is. And once you've used iMovie, you'll be able to actually use Final Cut Pro. But I also want to say that you can get iMovie on your phone as well. Most of my IG Reels, IGTVs are all edited on my phone. Don't overcomplicate things. It's not really about having the software first. Just start. Like Babala said, just start. Pick up the camera and film. You'll figure out the rest later.
True. And also another thing that I'd like to add there, Yols, is the fact that a lot of people usually ask, do I need to have a camera to start? What equipment do I need to have? And you really just can start with your phone. When we started our YouTube channel, we used just our phone and we would edit on our laptop. And then things get better as time goes by. So, yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, so let's go back to some of the other questions in our chat. Gosh, so many. Amazing. Tasnika, to any of the speakers, would you recommend a business coach? I'm actually going to leave that for Philippa when she comes back because she's a good one for that. Okay, let me actually go to the bottom. Ladies, how do you maintain to remain authentic in a really competitive world, especially on social media? Yols, I'm gonna direct that question at you.
Geez, it's the one word that people say a lot to describe me, which I'm honestly honored because I just think it's not about trying to be someone else. I think my journey, as mentioned, was about getting into the front seat of my life. So I always use anything like social media as a tool. How can I allow this to work? Allow social media to take over and make this person or that person. How can you utilize the tools that are given to you to use them to better you, to become a better version of you? So I change, but the authenticity doesn't. The true y'alls is within me. My essence remains the same, even though I may evolve over the years. It's really about going back to self. Your self-awareness is such a big thing, and we need to have a higher sense of self, especially as women, just in general. I mean, we've got so many, men around us who may not even know our worth. And just by virtue of that, you remain authentic by staying true to who you are and what you know. And the rest is easy. Picking up the camera, if I don't have makeup on, that's me on a 5 out of 7 days basis. So there's nothing wrong with that. Speaking my heart and speaking truly, that is who I am. That doesn't depend on who I follow, who I've just seen buy a new car, who I've just seen buy a new house. It doesn't move me as long as you stay true to who you are.
Yeah.
There's one more here, also for you, y'all. It says, do I have to contact big influencers in order to grow my business?
Absolutely not. So, apologies. You don't need to. When we started Y'all's Beauty, we actually didn't contact any influencers whatsoever, and we found so many YouTube reviews when I launched. Because I'd already built an audience and a community within the YouTube space. Just be active in the different spaces you find yourself in. Again, it's about the tools. So I utilized the tools that I have: YouTube, IG, now TikTok. Just be involved in the comment section. Let people see you, be visible. Even as a brand, we comment on other creators, videos and reels, and that literally makes us visible to somebody else to see us, whether they've got 1,000 followers, whether they've got 500 followers. I've sent product to people with 500 followers because they've brought us sales. It's really about ROI, essentially return on investment. We've had an influencer with 2 million followers and got absolutely zero sales from that. Then we had one big YouTuber as well. Misali actually bought from us. And I promise you, for 4 days, we were busy. She actually purchased and just shared. For 4 days, we were busy nonstop. So that's a big influencer with actual influence. But we've also had bigger influencers than her numbers who've had none. It's really about impact and turning that, your trust, by not even saying buy this cover, just sharing about it and somebody trusting you, that makes that person go to Discam or go to that cell phone shop and buy it. It's really about trust. So don't approach any just yet. Share, and if the product is great, people will buy it, and other people will actually do free reviews for you.
Amazing. Okay, I've got one here. Babelwa, it's from Lowakazi, and she says, Babelwa, seeing that you love fashion and clothing, what attracts you to a store online? And how does one build their business page to be appealing to customers?
What attracts me to a store online is how it is presented. I think it's very important. Branding is very important. We first buy with our eyes before we can actually buy. So if you do things professionally from the start, if everything looks good from the start, and like communicating, if you buy on an online store, and they send you an email saying, thank you for shopping with us, your order will arrive within the next few days. You can see that it's professional, and yeah. So I think that's what attracts me, because there are a lot of online stores on Instagram that scam people. And I get a lot of DMs from people asking me, is this legit? Is it not? So if there's like communication and you know that it is a legit store, like it looks professional and authentic, you can see that they made an effort to actually photo shoot their clothing, and they didn't just grab a few pieces from other people and put it on their store. So yeah, I think that's the most attractive thing.
Okay, I've got a lot of people asking how much does Shine Club wine cost? So I'm just going to answer that one for all of you. It's 115 Rand for a 3-litre box. You can actually see in the image here on our presentation is the white wine box. So you can see how gorgeous the handbag diamond design is. And it is available from Pick and Pay for 115 Rand. And I promise you that box is going to last you for ages. And you just pop it in the fridge and keep it nice and cool and preserved there. But there are not just white wine, we've got rosé wine and also red wine. So I think it's an absolute steal. I think it's such good value for money. Pick and Pay, but you can also order it online from Takealot, for example. Yeah, it's sold nationwide. Okay, I've got a question for Philippa. And this question is, for the Future Females Accelerator, can a co-founder or partner be a male? Maybe you just want to explain for everyone what the accelerator is.
Yes, exactly. So, sure. So the accelerator is the accelerator or incubator is the online kind of training portal that we have for side hustlers who want to make their dream a reality. So if you have an idea, a business idea, but you're not sure the first thing to start with, then this is for you. So it takes you from basically idea to business in 3 months. So it's a 3-month course that you can do part-time while you're doing whatever else you want to. And you can absolutely have a male co-founder. So at Future Females, we are pro-woman, but not anti-men. So men are more than welcome to also come to our events and attend our programs and come to our webinars, of course. And if you have a male co-founder, that's absolutely fine. They can also come through the course. It's just that we are focused on empowering female entrepreneurs because there is so little of them compared to the total number of entrepreneurs in South Africa and the world. And we just want to close that gap, that gender gap in business and entrepreneurship as much as we can.
Great. Quite a few women are asking about funding. And I've got this question. Did any of you ladies seek funding? And if you did, how did you go about it? So perhaps no. Answers no. Okay. But Val, do you want to go first?
No, so I started my business through savings because I was working, right? Like I had a 9-to-5 and I was doing content creation. So I saved my campaign money that I was making on the side because I knew that I eventually would love to start a business. So like all the money that I would make through campaigns, like I lived my normal life and I didn't get ambitious because I was earning additional income, but I just took all that money, put it into savings. And then when I started the business, I didn't want to make any loans because, I just used all my savings. So, yeah.
And yours?
So for me, since leaving corporate actually and then moving into full-time YouTube, I literally work for the following year, running your own business. There's just so many things that are unpredictable. So thankfully, with what I'd worked for in 2019, again, campaigns, in 2020, I just used those savings. I was like, okay, this was for this year. It's about April, May. Let me utilize my savings that I was keeping for the rest of the year. And then I just worked hard on y'all's channel to keep fueling this business. But now I've started reaching out. We do have a consultant from Y'all's Beauty, somebody who actually was an entrepreneur, an award-winning entrepreneur. She won different awards, as in funding awards. And she's come in on board, a subscriber, and she's offering us the coaching to actually build ourselves and make ourselves ready for an incubator. My husband also joined. He runs his own business, another incubator that assists you in getting funding from other coaches and other businesses. They essentially just allow you to know your niche, master your story, and be able to pitch to different brands so that they can fund you. So that's the stage that we're in now, because now we want to expand and get our full 5 to 6, full skincare range, and that's where we are.
Okay, fantastic. Let me see. There's so many questions. I see there's a lady here who's sitting in Germany. Her name's Shez, and she's saying she's in Germany. Online networking thing's a thing. And then there's someone else asking me, when is the next masterclass? So I'm so glad that everyone enjoyed it, because we are going to be running more masterclasses on Shine Club Wine As a brand, we're going to be doing several of them. So definitely stay tuned to the Instagram feed at Shine Club SA, and you can look there for notifications on when the next masterclass will be. And I know that Future Females have webinars all the time as well. So also check them out at Future Females on Instagram. I always say Instagram because it's my go-to, but you can also check out shineclubwine.coza, where we've got loads of content to do with career and upskilling yourself. So please do check out the website if you're seeking advice, because there's quite a bit of info there. Okay, I've now got a question for Cleo. I'm going to actually invite her to, oh no, she can't speak because our presenters are reached. So I'm going to ask her to come into the room with me. And just while we're waiting for her, I will ask someone else a question for Future Females. Why the focus? Okay, we've definitely answered that one already. Can you prosper in a business that you are not necessarily passionate about or necessarily use, but you see that there is a gap or demand for it, or that you see it will eventually be profitable? That's a really good question.
That is a very good question. However, how long can you sustain that? Because you need to be able to sustain whatever business that you own. And money, I don't think like money or profit alone can sustain your business. So I don't know if maybe y'all's also has something to add on.
So I was going to say, if you don't have the passion for it, at least have some sort of skill and find somebody with passion. I think Cleo and Babala also mentioned that finding, the different sets of skills through partnerships and co-partners in the business is really important. I've got a branding team that's really excellent in seeing where my brand is going, because I don't have the eye for the logo and the right colors for all our products, but I know what I want in my products. So for you, who I didn't actually have a passion for skincare in general, I just love self-care and I love good skin, but I learned. So if you can teach yourself and you can equip yourself and you've got a skill set in something that can actually sustain your business over the years when things are difficult, because it's going to get difficult until it gets easy, find that, utilize it, and find someone else who can actually help you with the passion and the interest.
That's amazing. Thanks. Yeah, I'll give my 2 cents on that. I think that you can start a business if you're not like wildly passionate about the product, but it's definitely about finding that partner who can drive it for you. Like maybe you're more the business brains. It's sounding to me like you are, and you've got like the commercial hat on, and you know that there's potential to make money from this thing. But then it's about maybe finding someone who has a real passion for it that can drive the content or the marketing or whatever it is you need the support on. Okay, a question here from Shoki. How can I elevate my presence that translates to sales? I have a cocktail service side hustle. I love that. And how can I elevate my presence? Because I stay updating WhatsApp and Twitter. Okay. Cleo actually to answer this question. Oh, you're on mute. You can.
Sorry. So the question is, how do you stay up to date? And
how do I elevate my presence?
Okay.
This lady has a cocktail service as a side hustle. She's on WhatsApp and she's on Twitter.
Okay, so I think you can definitely think about getting a Facebook and Instagram page. I think, they both serve different kind of audiences, and it really depends on your target audience. But I think, there's so much you can do content-wise for a cocktail service. So it's just as easy as maybe starting a page and then getting maybe some of your friends to spread the word, taking some kind of content on your phone when you have set up at a cocktail event. This is what we're about. You can even talk if you feel comfortable with that, because people do love that human element behind a business. So you can literally say, hi, I'm Cleo. I've got this incredible cocktail business. We do X, Y, Z. And people really kind of connect with a person rather than a brand. So think about also maybe putting yourself out there too. But definitely Instagram and Facebook, because I think your business is very social, and also it lends itself to content, and it's a very visual business. by what I'm hearing, being a cocktail service. So I'd really consider doing that and see how that goes, and then also get your network to kind of spread the word. I don't know if you're part of any groups on WhatsApp, probably. Maybe say, hey guys, who has a party coming up? I would love to, provide my service. I hope that helps. Hope that answers your question.
That's great advice, Cleo, and yeah, totally agree with that. I've got a question for everyone. From Tasnika, what, in your opinion, is the skill to learn for 2022? If there is one skill, what is it for someone looking to start a side hustle? So I'm going to start, I'm going to put that question first to Phil.
That's a really good question. I'm trying to think of what the most important thing would be. I think if putting yourself out there is a skill, because I think it's important that we become better at putting ourselves out there both on social media and in person. So if you're at a networking event, it's all very well to be there, but you're not going to have the effect of networking unless you actually go up to someone and start a conversation and ask them what they do and talk about how you can help each other. And the same thing as if it's virtual or on social media. So that would be mine.
Okay, Babelwa, you're looking pensive. I'm going to put the question to you next.
Hi, so much pressure. I would definitely agree with Phil and say definitely putting yourself out there physically, because I think I hope next year is going to be better. I hope and pray next year is going to be better. We've been in such a digital space for the past 2 years, and I really miss the physical interaction of networking. So I would really, really say socializing and putting yourself out there, introducing yourselves to people, hosting networking events, and really just meeting other people in business, in person instead of online, and just challenging myself as a business owner to constantly do better monthly, I would say. Don't be too comfortable with what never being comfortable and thinking that what I'm doing is good enough, and just constantly raising the bar for myself, and just learning and doing better, like on a month-to-month basis. So yeah.
I'd like to kind of weigh in on that, because as Phil was talking, I really agree with your answer and Babelwa's. But I also thought, like, one of the tips I'd give someone that kind of touches on both answers is don't be afraid of stepping out of your comfort zone. The best things happen when you aren't in your comfort zone. So yeah, I think that ties into both your answers, and that's something I've always believed in very thoroughly. Don't be too comfortable. The best things happen when you kind of just push yourself sometimes to step out of that comfort zone.
Wow.
The exact same thing. Feel the fear and do it anyway. There is absolutely nothing wrong with ground zero. If you fall, for those of you who followed me from the beginning of my journey, when I quit, I didn't tell anyone that I was pregnant, because people's jaws were already on the floor that I've left my very successful position as a senior analyst in a role that I was thriving in. I'd just been promoted, but I was like, you know what? I'm a risk taker by nature, so do it. Even though the fear is there, just jump. And actually, the future is female. So the chances of you failing are actually much less in this life and this generation. So do it, and do it with heart. Do it with everything that you have. If you fail, you'll get up. In fact, if you fail now, you're failing quicker. You are more likely to succeed 5 mistakes later or 1 mistake later. You will actually make it.
You know what, there's so many more questions here for everyone, but I feel like what I'm going to do, because we do have to call time in a moment, but what I encourage all of you to do is to find us also on Instagram, and feel free to add us and ask questions there, and we will try our best to answer them. But I am going to actually select the last question for today, And I feel like this is a really important question, especially at a time like now in this kind of COVID, post-COVID, are we even post-COVID? I don't know, era, where we're all like just doing the most and trying to hustle and survive. And, you know, we've all been through it all. And this person says, it's from Blossom. And she says, everyone is human and feels emotions. How do you bounce back from a negative comment or a really bad day where things didn't go to plan? How do you bounce back to that? So I had the worst day yesterday. It was what felt like the worst day. Just everything went wrong. Absolutely everything. And Cleo can back me up on that. And it was like everything to like the final cherry on the cake was when I lost my inherited gold ring at the end of the day. No. Yeah, everything. And it was just like one thing after the other. And at the end of the day, I just wanted to cry the whole day. And I felt like inside I was like breaking down, but outside I was trying to put up this hard wall. And like what made me feel better was just to put things into perspective. And I always say this, like, you've got to think about things in the global context. Like there are people out there who are way worse off than me. And it's like, actually, what does this mean in the perspective of the whole world? Like it doesn't actually mean anything. Like, has anyone in my network died? Am I still healthy? Am I still, you know, like able to do the things I love? Yes. And, you know, as soon as you put things into perspective, like you realize that actually that negative comment or that ring you lost or whatever it is, it doesn't mean anything. And you're better than that and you're bigger than that. And there's so much out there for you to shine and reach your potential and things like that. Just like, you can't let them get in your way and bring you down because, yeah, you know, like you will shine, I guess, is my last message. So I'm going to let everyone else answer that too.
For me, it's always knowing my anchor. I just always go back to like my center. Does this move me? And if it does, why? You know, some negative comments have truth in them. There's one that actually had me. Initially I was upset, and then I was like, that's really true. Somebody said, y'all get so emotionally attached. That's part of a personality. And initially I was like, that's not true. And then I was like, actually it is. I wear my heart on my sleeve, and that's not a negative thing. That's actually a really positive thing. This person was saying it in a negative light. They meant it to bash me, but that built me. Of course, I deleted the comment and I may have blocked the person, but you get to actually look at it and you're like, it is a negative comment, or supposed to be, but it's really true. And you know what? I'm really proud of that. In fact, that's going to be one of my strengths. That's why I am who I am, and I'm going to wear my heart on my sleeve. So find out what your anchor is, and sometimes look at it, like Holly said, in a different perspective. Tomorrow, that comment didn't count. You know, 5 minutes later, I was unbothered about it. So the bigger picture is it doesn't really affect you. The person doesn't probably know you. That negative comment tomorrow won't matter. And when you meet the person, some cases it has happened where somebody said something and they didn't know I'd remember their name. And they were actually saying, I love you. And the only reason I said that was to get a reaction out of you. So did it really matter?
Yeah, no, just to add on that, I always feel like when people say negative things, it means that they are going through something themselves. So don't take it too personally and too hard. And just understand that people have, like, they face their own demons. If that's, yeah, people face their own demons. And yeah, like whatever they say doesn't really make you like that person. So yeah, like you will get negative people. You'll get people that will say nasty and negative things to you on the internet. Just remember that psychologically, maybe they're going through something, and yeah, they're going through their own demons, or they're facing their own demons, and that should not affect you or weigh you down.
That's actually also kind of what our answer is, that when someone says something negative about you, yeah, it's a tough pill to swallow sometimes, and it might upset you, but also just realize that it says more about them than about you. And don't take, that doesn't sound like a you problem, that sounds like a them problem. Unless it is something that you maybe learn from, like Ulysses said, like maybe it is something that is true, and yeah, maybe you can work better at it. But yeah, just see it as it's not always a you problem, it's mostly a them problem. And everyone's entitled to their opinion. Don't always take it to heart.
Yeah.
I would say that with bouncing back from a bad day or from something that's gone wrong, always let yourself feel the full emotion. So like if something's upsetting me and I need to have a cry, then I make the time and I go and have a cry. Because you're not going to be able to bounce back if you're bottling stuff up. You need to speak to someone, go speak to me, get on about it. So I would say that for bouncing back, if you can't bounce back, if you still have holding grudges or feeling upset. And then with dealing with criticism from people, absolutely what everyone said. There was a quote that I saw the other day that like really stuck with me. It said something like, no one who has done what you have is like dissing you for what you're doing. So basically everyone if someone's saying a negative, rude comment about you that isn't necessary and isn't true, they haven't done what you've done. So they actually, and don't take advice from people or don't take criticism from people that you wouldn't take advice from. So just remember that, like they people from below.
Okay, incredible. Thanks, ladies. We are actually even half an hour, 30 minutes over our time. So I am going to end our Side Hustle Masterclass session today. There's so many more questions, and I wish that we could get to all of them. But we do have to end it now. And as I mentioned, please do find us on social media and ask away. And when we've got a free moment, we'll do our best to reply to you. And as I think I actually replied to quite a few of you in the chat. You will all be emailed a link so that you can watch this masterclass. It has been recorded, so don't worry about that. You can watch it again. And we will also be uploading it and publishing it to shineclubwine.coza. So please, I urge all of you, go to shineclubwine.coza immediately after this masterclass. Register, it's free. You'll unlock a whole load of content, and you will also be able to watch this masterclass early next week as soon as we publish it there on the site. Okay, and keep an eye on @ShineClubSA on Instagram for notifications for future masterclasses, because there will be more. And have a great Friday, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. I really enjoyed this. Thank you to all of our speakers. All your talks were so insightful and really inspiring as well. Okay, bye everyone. Have a good weekend.